We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some noteworthy news regarding Brock Lesnar coming out of WrestleMania weekend, and clearly the Beast Incarnate is eyeing a very intriguing SmackDown superstar that he'd like to face off against next in WWE. Now, a dream match that a lot of wrestling fans have had for quite a while now would definitely have to be a potential clash between the current reigning Intercontinental Champion Gunther against Brock Lesnar, with a lot of fans previously hoping that WWE would have pulled off that match for WrestleMania 39 instead of Lesnar versus Omos, and Gunther defending his title in that triple threat match, but WWE held off on putting together that Gunther and Brock Lesnar match. However, while WWE may not have seemingly been very interested in that Gunther-Lesnar match, clearly the Beast Incarnate was and still is, because in a recent interview, Brock Lesnar had this to say about that rumored Gunther match for this year's WrestleMania 39 event. Quote, "I do like the Gunther match. I don't really care, it was just proposed, and I don't know if I don't make the calls around here. It's just one of those things. When this was proposed to me, I liked it because I liked the challenge and I liked the matchup." Now, while clearly WWE are heading in a completely different direction with Brock Lesnar following WrestleMania, hopefully at some point in the not so distant future, WWE finally book that dream match between Brock Lesnar and Gunther, because not only do the two superstars involved like the idea of facing off against one another, it's safe to say that most fans want to see it happen before Brock retires. Perhaps this could be worked into the plans for SummerSlam 2023. We suppose time will only tell. On night one of the Showcase of the Immortals, one of the highlight moments was Rhea Ripley defeating Charlotte Flair to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and by all means, while most fans seemed extremely happy to see Rhea Ripley get that massive special WrestleMania moment, and to get that WrestleMania win back against Charlotte Flair and end her SmackDown Women's title reign, there is no doubt that Charlotte Flair deserves a lot of credit for her performance at WrestleMania this year, because Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair definitely stole the show and was a fantastic match, and Charlotte put over Rhea Ripley in the best way possible to kickstart Rhea's title reign on SmackDown. Now, a lot of fans are a bit curious as to Charlotte Flair's status in WWE moving forward following WrestleMania, and as of right now, there is actually speculation that Charlotte may not even be getting an immediate rematch against Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and that Flair is planning to take a break from WWE following Mania. Here's what one source, Pro Wrestling Insider Elite, had to say regarding the situation with Charlotte Flair coming out of the WrestleMania weekend. Quote, "Charlotte Flair will be taking some time off from WWE, PWInsiderElite.com has confirmed. We are told that Flair informed WWE that she would be taking a break from the company over WrestleMania 39 weekend. WWE's creative plans for the SmackDown Women's Championship, moving it to Rhea Ripley, were locked in place before Flair told WWE she would be taking a break. Flair is not expected to appear at this week's SmackDown, and we are told that she was telling those backstage that she and her husband Andrade were going to travel. There is no word how long the hiatus will be, but it was a Flair decision, not a WWE creative move. So what this means is that we've likely seen the last of Charlotte Flair in WWE for the time being, with her final scheduled in-ring appearance being her great match against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 39, and it is definitely a bit concerning that as of right now, there's no timetable on when Flair will be back in WWE, as her extended break could be anywhere from several weeks to several months, so again, time will only tell. Regardless, the SmackDown Women's division will certainly be in good hands during Charlotte Flair's absence, as Rhea Ripley has all the makings of a great dominant champion, and it is likely that when Charlotte Flair does return, a rematch with Rhea Ripley will be waiting for her, especially after that performance Charlotte had at WrestleMania 39. Now we have a brief update on the situation with Jay White when it comes to him possibly joining WWE in the near future, because as most of you are likely aware, rumors have went around that the New Japan Pro Wrestling star could have been WWE bound as early as a 2023 Royal Rumble Premium Live event, and while that debut did not end up happening at that show, rumors and speculation have persisted that the scenario of Jay White joining WWE and making his big debut were quite possible, with there even previously being reports that those within WWE were apparently confident that they would be getting to sign Jay White. However, a new report by one of our sources, Mike Johnson from Pro Wrestling Insider Elite, has contradicted those initial rumors of Jay White coming over to WWE soon, with this being the exact message from Mike, which has essentially shut down these rumors. Quote, "We are told it does not appear White is WWE bound." With that being the case, it is looking more and more that Jay White will instead be soon joining AEW All Elite Wrestling over making that WWE debut, and that definitely is still exciting news, though lots were really hoping that Jay White would join WWE sooner rather than later. While the bulk majority of the WWE Universe really appreciated the hard work and great storylines that Triple H had been putting out on the main roster of Raw and SmackDown for the past several months after he took over as the head of creative for WWE when Vince McMahon stepped down this past summer, unfortunately things are changing big time behind the scenes in WWE. With the sale of WWE to Endeavor and the merger with the UFC, there are truly a lot of moving parts behind the scenes in WWE, and arguably the most talked about aspect of all of this is in regards to the fact that Vince McMahon is once again returning to his position of power backstage in WWE, with things essentially going back to the way they were prior to Vince McMahon being forced to step down and retire. Although it has been stated that Triple H is going to be continuing his role in creative for WWE, that really does not mean that much when it was clearly revealed that Vince McMahon will once again be overseeing the big creative decisions in WWE, which means that Vince has the final say, and the major storylines that will be happening in WWE moving forward will be at Vince McMahon's discretion, which has certainly caused there to be great concern from fans, especially after this week's usually special Raw after WrestleMania episode, which many felt was an extremely lackluster show overall, and that it definitely seemed like Vince McMahon was back in creative booking things for the most part, not to mention Triple H's segment on Raw this week, which a lot of fans felt like was actually Triple H subtly saying goodbye to the WWE Universe, and that things will not be the same as they have been over the last several months on Raw and SmackDown going forward. There is even speculation going around that Vince McMahon may decide to release Triple H from his role in creative altogether in the near future, and have Hunter work in different behind-the-scenes duties of WWE, not related to creative, which is certainly not the best news. There was even a report just the other day which basically summarized that a lot of WWE Superstars were quite unhappy with some of the big changes made in creative ahead of Monday Night Raw this week, with Vince McMahon's sudden return to creative, indicating that the backstage morale in WWE is definitely not the greatest right now, with lots being very unhappy to see Triple H removed from the head of creative role, and Vince returning to his old position in WWE, and it certainly got to be quite a rough time for Triple H right now, who put in so much work to try and really help elevate the WWE product since last summer, and things may not be shifting for the better moving forward, which is definitely unfortunate. And let us know your thoughts on all the speculation that Triple H is slowly losing his power behind the scenes in WWE when it comes to creative, and Vince returning back to his position of power.